All right, so Anthropic just dropped a new feature for Claude called Agent Skills. Now, on the surface, it looks, well, incredibly simple. We're talking just a folder with some text files. But don't let that fool you. This simple idea might completely change how we build and share AI capabilities, so let's break down why it's actually such a huge deal.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. When a respected developer like Simon Willison says this is a bigger deal than Model Context Protocol, MCP, which was last year's big thing for giving AIs new tools, that's when you know we really need to pay attention. So, what in the world are these skills, and why are they causing such a stir?
Anthropic recently unveiled this whole new pattern for giving their models new abilities. And honestly, it's capturing the attention of the entire AI community, and fast. You can think of it as a really significant step forward in what AI agents can actually do.
And here's the part that's kind of surprising. Despite all the buzz, we're not talking about some super complex new protocol here. A skill is literally just a folder with a text file inside that tells the model how to do something. That radical simplicity, that's its secret weapon.
Okay, so let's get a little more specific. We've talked about all the excitement around this. Now let's actually break down what an agent skill is and, what makes it tick.
This is the official analogy from Anthropic, and it is brilliant. You aren't building a brand new custom agent from scratch for every single task. Nope. Instead, you're taking your general purpose agent, Claude, and you're giving it a specialized onboarding guide. It's so it can expertly perform a new task just like you would with a new person joining your team.
So here's the more formal definition for you. Notice those two key phrases, discover and load dynamically. What this means is the agent has access to this whole library of skills, but it only pulls the specific knowledge it needs exactly when it needs it. There's no wasted effort. Anthropic really highlights these four pillars. Composable means you can stack them. Claude is smart enough to use a PDF skill and a data analysis skill together to get a job done. Portable means you build it once and boom, it works everywhere. Efficient, which we're going to get into more, is all about saving tokens. And powerful means you can include actual code, which makes certain tasks way more reliable and precise when you need them to be.
So how does Claude manage all of this without getting totally overwhelmed or, using up your entire context window? Well, the mechanics behind it are incredibly clever, and it all comes down to one core principle.
The entire system is built on this one elegant idea, progressive disclosure. Think about it like a well-organized instruction manual. You don't read the whole thing cover to cover just to find one little piece of information, right? It all works in 3 simple steps. First, Claude just scans the table of contents, the name and a short description of every single skill it has access to. This costs almost no tokens. Then, if a skill looks promising, it moves to level 2 and reads the main instruction file. And only if it needs even more detail, like say for a very specific subtask, does it go to level 3 and access those linked files or code scripts. It's unbelievably efficient.
Okay, to see this in action, Simon Willison tested a skill Anthropic published called Slack-GIF Creator. He gave it this exact prompt, specifically mentioning Slack. Because the skills description mentioned creating GIFs for Slack, Claude knew exactly which instruction manual to pull off the shelf. And the result was, well, in his words, a terrible GIF. But that is not the point. The crucial thing here is that it worked. The agent found the right skill. It followed the instructions. It even used a Python script from the skills folder to make sure the file size was right for Slack, and then it created the file. And because the skill is just a simple folder of text files and code, improving that terrible GIF is as easy as editing a document. So to really appreciate why this is such a leap forward, we need to put it side by side with the previous hot tech that tried to solve a similar kind of problem.
And wow, the difference is stark. On one hand, you've got MCP, a complex, rigid protocol that can eat up tens of thousands of your precious context tokens just to describe itself. On the other hand, you have a skill. It's just a simple folder of files, its token usage is tiny thanks to progressive disclosure, and its main dependency is just a safe place to run code, which is pretty much becoming standard for AI agents anyway.
And this is really the key takeaway. Some critics might say skills are too simple to be a feature, but that's precisely why they're so powerful. Instead of forcing the model to follow some complex protocol, you're just giving it well-organized text and instructions, and you're letting the large language model do what it does best, understand and act on language. This simple, open approach has some pretty staggering implications for the future. We're not just talking about a new feature for one model. We could be talking about a whole new standard for building AI capabilities. As Simon Willison realized,
This fundamentally changes a tool like Claude Code. It stops being just for coding. It becomes a general agent for automating anything you can do on a computer. If you can describe how to do it in a text file, you can now teach an AI to do it.
And the potential is, as he puts it, dizzying. Just imagine a data journalist creating a set of skills for finding, cleaning, analyzing, and visualizing U.S. Census data. By just combining these simple folders, they've essentially built their own specialist data journalist agent that can help find stories and new data drops. The possibilities are just endless.
And here's the best part. Because agent skills are an open format, remember, just folders and files, they aren't tied to Claude. Anyone can build them, anyone can share them, and any other AI agent with a coding environment can potentially use them. This could lead to a Cambrian explosion of new, shareable AI capabilities, one that could totally dwarf what we saw with MCP.
So the crucial point here is this. Skills are a simple, powerful, and open way for anyone to package their expertise into a format an AI can understand and use. It really democratizes the creation of specialized AI. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. What happens to our world when anyone, not just a massive lab, can build and share their very own specialist AI?